Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Raising Vibrations with myself, Simon. Today I'm going to be speaking about the archetype of Capricorn within our reality from the Zodiac, and teaching a little bit about how this energy is in our world and how the soul uses it to develop its own evolution through the energy that it is. Okay, so basically what I want to do just quickly before I start talking about the nature of Capricorn, I'd like to share that if anybody that has just begun watching the show right now, I highly suggest starting at Aries at the beginning of the show right there, because it relates to the nature of an evolutionary pattern. So I've gone around in a circle, and so it kind of like gives a perspective of why the signs are in the way that they are. Like, in other words, why it is that Capricorn comes after Sagittarius, and so on and so forth. Okay, all right. So Capricorn, okay, when we are looking at Capricorn, we are looking at the relationship to the midheaven, okay? In other words, the 12 o'clock position, they're right at the top, right at the beginning, right at the start, like the center of our awareness, but right at the top, okay? So it is the maturity aspect. It is the maturity. It is where we are going towards in our lives, where we are growing towards, and how we get there. So Capricorn on one level will relate to the 12 o'clock position, the midday, the midpoint, the purpose, the direction, etc., etc. So when you're looking at an astrology chart and you look at the sign that is on the 10th house cusp, you're looking at what it is that the soul in some way, shape or form is actually intending to do in this lifetime. What is its goals? What is it wanting to do? And how to mature. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is then Capricorn will relate to four dynamics. It relates to the parenting dynamic and the relationship that you have towards that. It relates on a more deeper level to the goals and how you put them out in place. So like your goal setting experience. It relates to form and matter, the physical reality. So your body, your bone structure, your teeth, etc., etc. And then also the limitations that exist within your consciousness, Saturn, the 10th house, okay? And then through that will, as outside of yourself, will relate to the structure of society. So these are five dynamics that are related to Capricorn. And I'm going to start with one. This is on the physical side, by the way. I'll go into the spiritual or metaphysical aspects of it now. But from the point of view of Capricorn and parenting, it relates to the maturity. So the parents, the wise, the grown process, the adult, okay? And so therefore, through that experience, what are we relating it to? Responsibility. The responsibility that is taken in our world and how we respond to things in a mature and adult-like way, by understanding that society has a set series of structures, understanding the rules and regulations in which we abide by in them, and through that process how we are able to then define who we are and how we are. So that leads on to the next thing. Then Capricorn relates to the physical form in which you exist within your consciousness, your physical form, right? So your bone structure, your body. Why? Because it relates to the definitions of who you are and how you are, definitions. And so through that process, then it will relate to your society, because your society has a set rules and set way of being. And these rules and ways of being will be exactly how you will define who you are as a person. So if you're somebody that lives in a society where the rules are this way, then you as a person will be defined and are defined that way, because your beliefs, Sagittarius, now are existing within those boundaries, within that circle. And so then your society will be, through an extension, a definition of who you are. Okay? And then Capricorn will also relate to your job, your career. Again, Capricorn is about actually manifesting yourself outside of yourself. In other words, your security outside of yourself. So where is your security outside of yourself? In your job, in your career, in your work. So Capricorn will define the type of work that you do. It will relate to your relationship to your work. If you are a sun sign that is in Capricorn, or a lot of people that have got Capricorn in their chart, that will relate to the responsibility that you have at work, the need to be recognized within your work, the ability to have wisdom and understanding and maturity within the work, and to be responsible, which is why you'll feel that there are the rights and wrongs associated with Capricorn. In other words, what you feel is right and what you feel is wrong, and then you impose judgments relative to those definitions of right and wrong, and those judgments will be based on your belief systems. So this is why Sag will come before Capricorn. In that case, you will have developed a belief system that will then be imposed, Capricorn, into your physical reality, which will then have judgments of right and wrong. So this is where the moral code comes in with regards to Capricorn, the morals and what you believe. Through the extension of those beliefs and morals and codes and ways of being, you have then the relationship of family dynamics and society, and to protect. The opposite side of Capricorn is Cancer, and so therefore Capricorn will relate to how you protect yourself in your home and in your family. So the protection process. This is why police will be relating to Capricorn, because they have the law behind them, the empowerment of the law behind them. They are enacting the rules and regulations that exist. They are enforcing them. So through an extension, they are the parents of our society. And so therefore any Capricorn energy that you have within your chart will feel that you will need to have the responsibility to protect and serve, to look after, to have that responsibility within society, and so on and so forth. So there's a big aspect of family dynamics. In other words, being the father in the process, Capricorn, the father, allowing for the outside security, rules and regulations to be defined. So this is what Capricorn relates to in our world on the physical and sort of mundane astrology and so on and so forth. So what are the seeds of archetype with Capricorn? Okay, so everything comes from Capricorn because of three main things. Capricorn, three main things. Capricorn teaches us spiritually to understand the relationship between cause and effect. Cause and effect. We are instinctively understanding the nature of cause and effect through our world being defined by that. In other words, our reality, our world, Earth's plane, is the relationship cause and effect. So as an example, you will understand the laws of gravity. So you decide to jump off the building. You are aware that as you cause this experience, you decide to make that choice. You are aware that the cause, jumping off, created the effect of death because of the laws that we exist in. So cause and effect is then the relationship that Capricorn has spiritually. This is the blueprint of the archetype, teaching us about cause and effect. We then develop our sense of judgments through the understanding of cause and effect, because we are aware that, say for instance, if a baby is walking around and there is a plug that is open over there, you are aware that if this baby goes over to the plug and puts its finger in there, the effect after the cause will be shocking. So you put a responsibility factor in place. You are then responsible, and you put a judgment in place saying, no, you can't do that, which is why parents then to their children will say, no, you can't do that. Yes, you can do that, because they themselves are acting as protection and police. It is about the relationship of cause and effect that will stem to us to be able to develop our sense of rightness and wrongness, fairness, etc., etc. There is a relationship between Libra and Capricorn, which will tell us expectations from society to serve. To protect and serve is the relationship between Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra. They all make a square in the Zodiac. To protect, Capricorn. To serve, society, Libra. Okay, and again, Aries Cancer at the bottom, our community, our home, right? Protect our home and expectations from society. This is where the archetype of police comes in. Can you see those three things over there? Pretty cool, isn't it? So again, the whole point of going out into the world and doing work for others will relate again to the relationship between Capricorn, Libra, and Gemini. Pardon me, Gemini. I don't know where my words are today, but Cancer, because Cancer is our home, our internal security. Capricorn is the opposite of it, so our external security, and it is the relationship between going to work and coming home, going to work and coming home, going to work and coming home. And it is that responsibility between the two over there. So Cancer will relate to our home and our nurturing, our emotional nurturing, and Capricorn, the relationship to our outside reality and our social expectations relative to our jobs, etc. So that's the first thing, cause and effect. The second thing is hierarchy. Okay, in the Zodiac, or within spiritual dimensions, we have hierarchy. Okay, now unfortunately in our world that we live in today, we have been infected with a virus, and I'm going to say this way, but we have been infected with a virus where we have severed our connection to our hearts, and so therefore we don't believe that spirit and matter are the same thing. Our spirituality has been severed from us, and we don't even know that this is the case completely until we start questioning this thing. Until we have these life-altering moments in our lives where we have to find the ultimate meaning, Pisces, and then we realize that we are actually connected to everything. Anyway, Capricorn will relate to hierarchy, and Capricorn will teach us that our sense of awareness and responsibility, and through that our adult maturity, that step that we go through. So it will relate to the goat climbing the mountain. It will consistency, being able to stay in the same place and slowly but surely mature and grow up this ladder, get up the ladder, go up the ladder, okay? And eventually we get to the top, Capricorn. And so the top of the mountain will represent our life, our maturity, the 12 o'clock midheaven position. So Capricorn is also about building things, manifesting, being structured in that way, and being able to accomplish these goals and tasks that we are going through. So to be organized and to find and feel secure and safe within the organization thing. Right. Then lastly, spiritually, Capricorn will relate to the fabric of our reality. In other words, the network of molecules and nuclei that exist within our reality. And so therefore the binding process. So there's a relationship between Capricorn and Taurus, which relates us to earth signs. So that's about the binding process. Taurus, earth, reality, sensual reality, 5 senses. Virgo, which will teach us about the details and everything, and its relationship to Capricorn, talking us about how everything is connected. And so Capricorn will correlate to structure. In other words, how everything is structured in our reality. So hierarchy, how our governments are structured. Capricorn will relate to governments. Why? Because they are there to help our community protect and serve, which is not the case, corruption. And I'll share a little bit more insight into Capricorn there. But it relates to structure. This is the spiritual blueprint, how everything is put together, our reality. And so therefore through that process, any Capricorns and so on and so forth will feel drawn to anything that has got a building process. How can I construct something? Engineers. If you just look at your own work, if you've got lots of Capricorn in yourself, you'll be attracted towards the structure of the teeth, very important aspects. Or you'll be relating to building something, how things are structured in place, building the bricks, foundations. And obviously, again, through that experience, how we look at our reality and see how everything is connected through structures. And one of the most beautiful ways to actually show this experience is that when we look at a home, the inside of our home is a reflection of our inner world, our internal security. And then the walls around us, Capricorn, the structure of our home, the building of our home, will relate to the outside security that protects the in, right? Another beautiful example of the relationship between Capricorn and Cancer relates to the bone. The bone is solid on the outside, that is protecting the softness that is in the inside, Cancer. So again, relationships to inner security. These are the two dynamics that are about Capricorn, inner and outer security, and the experience of it. In relationships, it relates to how we as human beings are able to relate to others in a mature way, to understand the expectations of others. And then lastly, Capricorn and its biggest sort of like experience will relate to the nature of suppression of emotions, okay? To not experience emotions, to push them down completely because of a myriad of things, for instance. But Capricorn will relate to judgments being imposed on you that will force you to suppress your emotions. So Capricorn in itself will probably correlate to creating mass amounts of security relative to vulnerabilities within the soul, within the consciousness. Okay, everybody, I actually spoke a lot about Capricorn in this point in time. It's not usually how long I do the videos, but this is nevertheless the case. If you liked my content, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you want a reading with me, come over to my website right now, simonvorster.com, and read about the type of work that I do. And other than that, I sincerely hope that this was insightful and shared some awareness on the nature of Capricorn in itself. And until then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.